Excuse me, cat spatula. No. Nah.
You live really once on that chair. I breathed in cat hair. I think that a lot of my problems are breathing in cat hair related.
I wonder that too, or like from living in the trailer, I'm like, am I full of mold now?
I feel like you probably were before, but now, definitely. Hello, and welcome back to Nightshia's Book Club, the podcast, the legend. Here we are, Suzanne and Presley.
I'm not full of mold, for the record.
It's debatable. We are your co-hosts in this amazing adventure where we discuss books, we discuss a hot topic, and then we get into other fun things.
Yes.
I mean, all of it's fun.
I was about to say, just fun overall, because that's what this is all about, right? This crazy ride we call life. Why not have fun?
Spinning on this little rock.
Yeah.
Who knows, really? There's been so much talk lately about, it was really brushed over, but that our government said that 100% there is aliens.
Yeah, like it was just kind
and
of
then more alien stuff's just trickling in.
mentioned. And then
Does everyone know that?
I don't know, but I guess I feel like we all knew on a certain level, because like, I hate when people are like, aliens aren't real, ghosts aren't real. Okay, then I guess we just don't have fun ever. You know what I mean?
Why do you hate life?
Yeah, like, that's a rather boring existence. Like,
It's weird. I feel like you're just being obstinate about wanting to be different, and there's better ways to be different.
yes, you're being contrary, and although sometimes funny, come on.
You can't give yourself your own nickname. You just have to let things happen
Yeah.
naturally. Don't force it.
No ghost believer Bethany. That doesn't sound good. You don't sound like a party.
No, you don't. You sound like you like to wear beige sweaters.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah, Bethany.
Yeah.
So, what have you been doing since we last talked?
So I've been up to New Jersey visiting my boyfriend's parents.
Visiting?
To a visiting. It was fun and got a lot of good reading done there. What I like about them is we can all share a comfortable silence. So like when I go a lot of the time, it's literally like me and his parents sitting in a room and everyone's like doing something different and like reading a book, and it's just quiet, and I really like being able to like share a comfortable silence with people, because man, and actually like with you and Mother as well, like what's better than a comfortable silence where you can just hang out and do your thing, and
It really is nice.
and it's quiet, because that's the other thing. I've been at work and I'm in a room where everyone's just, they're only a foot apart, but man, they're all yelling.
I was going to say, probably the only place in my life that I get constantly interrupted when I try to read is work, which is fair, I guess. But sometimes it's with not fun things that don't require my attention.
No, like the most annoying thing is at work when I'm like in my little reading nook, which is like this hidden corner, and I'm reading, and two people were talking to me, and this person's talking about how their kid is like, they're like training it to poop or whatever in the toilet, and they're like, oh, and then he did it, and blah, blah. And I just wanted to be like, I need to finish this chapter, so can you guys like have this somewhere else? Like, I don't get a chocolate every time I go, so like bully for your kid, but like I don't care.
Also,
get out of here.
Like, I'm glad that you taught it that, because everybody's got to learn. But at the same time, is that conversation, unless you've got a zappy punchline for that, don't tell me.
That was the biggest crime. It wasn't a funny conversation. It was just annoying. So
Yeah, you gotta have. One of my coworkers who was potty training a kid came out to find him in the garage on some kind of like portable camp potty that he had just like decided to make like a garage bathroom for himself and had set it up like a little man cave. That's hilarious.
Yeah, see, and at least that's interesting. This other thing was not.
Just, the basics. Nobody needs to know. Spice that story up.
Yeah, no, and I mean, well, you can say what you did, and then we'll say what we did collectively.
I made a really fantastic lasagna. I feel really proud of myself. The garden is poppin', so I put in a lot of fresh herbs and
It is summertime.
tomatoes. I also made some enchiladas suizas with like homegrown peppers and tomatillo stuff, jalapenos,
It
which
was
are peppers.
quite good.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Well, and then collectively, you and I and our mother saw the Barbie movie.
Oh yeah, what I loved it.
I thought, yeah, it was very.
I can't wait to watch it again.
It was very cute. It had a lot of stuff to really think about, and like I'm sure you've all heard the like it's got a feminist agenda and ba 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 ba, and they hate men and ba, ba. Does it have like a little bit of a feminist?
Oh,
of course
yeah,
it does.
of
It's
course it
for
does.
women, but
And that's just the direction it's taking. I could see, so people who would say that are very anti-feminist.
they're already on. They're already ready to dislike it.
Yeah.
They're already ready because it's for women. They're already ready to not like it. But
And so maybe it's not for you. If you don't like feministy things, then it's not for you. I think that if you went into it with that mindset, it would feel very preachy to you.
that's what I mean.
But as young women who do feel, that there's a lot of inequality there that needs to be addressed for a lot of different kinds of people, and it's done so in a way that is funny, it was not too political. It was just funny and palatable and I don't know, like affirming.
Yes. And I think that there is things that men could get out of it too, because it wasn't even just about, women, agenda, blah, blah, blah. Like it was, of course it was, it's the point of the movie, but like also for men, is showing that like your personality shouldn't be your relationship. You shouldn't be someone's accessory. You're your own person too. It had a flavor of that as well, which I think anybody could get that out of. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
So it's not just for women, but like
Yeah, I think if you were ready to be mad about feminist stuff, you write things off as like women want equality, and the whole thing is so much more than that. And it's going through not only how, things are unequal and how we could maybe equalize things better, or just, not even equalize, just how we can move forward as a society where everyone is present and can be themselves.
yes, as a human, finding out who you are as a person.
Yeah, so people might want to say that it's feminist, but really it's humanist, and that it's just supporting the individual and how individuals can fit into society.
Yeah. And like, God forbid we have something, but yes.
Plus, I mean, lovely aesthetics.
Aesthetically,
really funny
beautiful,
songs.
clean. Yeah, the music was great. I loved everything about it. I thought the acting was great. Everything was fun. The jokes were funny.
Cameos.
A lot of cameos. And I liked everything. So
Same. I also want to see Oppenheimer.
I would also like
It
to
was
see
very.
Oppenheimer.
You can tell who was going where. Truly, the jokes are real. We all had pink on. And then Oppenheimer was either like
black or brown.
like metally sorts of dudes or old people who immediately began arguing as they left the theater.
Oh yeah, it was. See, and in Barbie we didn't do. We all held hands and we walked out together, everybody, and
did one big
there was
group kiss.
and there was a rainbow and it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we did.
That's true. We all had little pink Corvettes.
Yeah, we all drove out, just in a line.
Cute.
All right, so you're here for the book.
Oh, right, yeah. So I think I didn't say spoiler free in the last few, but know that this is spoiler free if you want to read the
You
book.
guys should know that we say it enough.
Yes. We don't want you to do extra work. We know that you're already taxed.
And don't be scared. Don't be scared of what we'll say.
Don't be afraid of us.
Nothing unhinged.
Well, today's book is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak.
Rekulak is how it sounded online, so I'm going to go with that. you know, with the pronunciations. It's hard out there, so nobody get mad at me.
Our theme is addiction. Ooh, spicy. And yeah, this came out May 2022. I didn't realize it was so old.
Yeah, I also thought it was a newer book, but I'm not sure why.
I think it's just getting more popular now on the Bookstagram.
You know, probably, because I've seen a bit about this book. The reviews for it were pretty good. I will say, I guess I'll bring this up now. A lot of the negative reviews said things like, this has like an agenda for like, you know, trying to like be in transgender children and like some sort of agenda. Like, I don't know if we read different books, but like there was not a transgender child in this book. I won't get into the deets just for spoiler reasons, but like there wasn't, so I'll just leave it at that and say that's not a reason to discredit this book either. I think any topic should be brought up and talked about. I think that's very important. But besides that, like, that's not what this book was about. So I wouldn't, if you're reading those reviews that are negative like that, saying that it's preaching these different this and that, it's not about that. So
take the reviews for this one with a very big grain of salt.
yes.
And I would just say, if you're somebody who likes a good mystery thriller,
yes, that's what this book is.
then you'll like it. It's very, like, typical mystery thriller.
I was not getting political agenda stuff from this book. I was not getting that from this. This
Not
is
at
a
all.
fun thriller book.
Yes. Jason there's not a lot of information about him online.
Yeah.
It just says that he lives in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it said West Philadelphia.
Really?
Born and raised. I don't know if it said that, but that is where he is at now. But yeah, West Philadelphia, which...
Man, he's probably got one of those like, gorgeous big old houses.
Yeah, like if you're in West Philadelphia, like, okay.
I'm sorry if I was ever drunk near you.
Yeah, or like if I peed near your house outside in some sort of alley or ditch or what have you.
Sorry.
It happened.
Not sorry. You know what? You deserved it.
Yeah, and I'm not sorry because I don't
And
remember.
I had a good time doing it. You don't remember? Okay. Well, I doubt he was near any of the punk houses. He probably lives in a real people nice house.
Yeah, but maybe we like bumped into him at the train station.
At the Sunny Deli on 40th Street.
He also wrote Impossible Fortress, which I actually might look into now just because I did enjoy this book so much. I like this book a
I can
lot.
see that for you.
Okay. Everyone knows I also don't like a spoiler. I actually don't even like to like watch trailers for things. I don't really like to know anything going in. I like to know the genre maybe, but beyond that, I don't really want to know that much. So going into this book, I knew nothing of what it was about, and I'm reading it, and it got to a point where it's normal, and then it's scary, and I was like, "Ah!" And I think that was the intention of this book. So, you know what, like, I liked it.
That is nice when you can absorb art the way it was meant to be.
Yes.
Presented to you.
Unperverted by
Yeah.
any sort of review or synopsis or what have you. But,
All right. Well, I'm gonna read everyone the synopsis quickly,
mm,
super quickly. I just also want to add that I love books set in and around Philadelphia because
yeah.
it's you know,
it's easily
gives
picturable.
you those hometown feels.
Hometown, yeah.
Okay. Fresh out of rehab, Mallory Quinn takes a job in the affluent suburb of Springbrook, New Jersey, as a babysitter for Ted and Carolyn Maxwell. She is to look after their 5-year-old son, Teddy. Mallory immediately loves this new job. She lives in the Maxwell's pool house, goes on nightly runs, and has the stability she craves. And she sincerely bonds with Teddy, a sweet, shy boy who is never without his sketchbook and pencil. His drawings are the usual fare: trees, rabbits, balloons, but one day he draws something different: a man in a forest dragging a woman's lifeless body. As the days pass, Teddy's artwork becomes more sinister, and his stick figures evolve into more complex, lifelike sketches, well beyond the ability of any 5-year-old. Mallory begins to suspect these are glimpses of an unsolved murder from long ago, perhaps relayed by a supernatural force lingering in the forest behind the Maxwell's house.
Ooh.
There's more, but I feel like that sums it up enough.
No, that's good. That's good. That's definitely
Enough to wet your whistle.
yeah, and like get you ready for it. Just because this book is definitely one that you just. I personally, I got it. I read it in like 2 days because it was fun to read,
Yeah, it is just a good little mystery.
and like I feel like it wasn't overly complicated. It was a good plot. It was a good twist. It was good overall. I just liked it.
I feel like a newscaster where I'm reading the teleprompter and I'm not taking in any information. So I don't know how much it was touched on in the synopsis that I read 2 seconds ago. But I think the first line they were saying that Mallory is freshly out of the substance abuse.
They said rehab. Yes, that's what I like the characters in this book. I thought these characters were great. Definitely like fully formed. I think I quite like these characters. I kind of got where she was coming from, and maybe it is because we're from Philadelphia, so like we, kind of
Have a soft spot for the locale.
yeah, like I don't know, can easily picture this person. Although I will say, in the book it is mentioned she has a gritty tattoo, but she's like embarrassed about it. Girl, don't be embarrassed. I want a gritty tattoo. That's absolutely what I'm getting next.
Yeah, sexy gritty.
Hell yeah, go Flyers.
I think that it was just, like you said, the characters were good and it was well handled, the subject matter. Yeah, I think that, I don't know if, what was that place called? It's not Eastern State. What was the one on Roosevelt Boulevard, like the big asylum that closed? I'm gonna put the name here. I don't remember.
What, Essex?
No. The one that was
Oh.
in Philly in the Northeast.
Oh, the estate one.
Yeah, and then it closed and they just like kind of turned the people out on the street. I kept picturing that one when I was reading this, which is past the time that it would have been, but...
What is the name of the...
I'm
I'm gonna cut all this out.
Don't shout at us, okay? I'm just a person with an old Swiss cheese brain.
But yeah, it's, thanks Ronald Reagan.
Yeah,
for
thanks Ronald Reagan's wife.
putting all the mentally ill people out with no help. That really was great for society.
Truly, I mean, mildly hot take. I guess it's an older take, but as somebody in the medical field, mental health is just suffering. It's not well understood anyway, and there's just not a lot of resources for people who are acutely mentally ill, and asylums did badly need reform. But they needed reform instead of just closing them. A cat is attacking us. It's bound to happen eventually. But yeah, so I just feel like there could be so much done there instead of just turning these people out on the street, and now the resources is like a small handful of overrun behavioral health facilities and group homes, and not enough resources are available for people in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
It's really sad. And just from, we used to do, if you're a police officer, we didn't do this, but if you're anyone else, we used to do some urban exploration,
Just a bit.
Urbex, going into these abandoned asylums, and just from doing that, you can see that they had laundries and bakeries and kitchens and gardens and like bowling alleys and pools and all kinds of, it was like this small self-contained world where I think that
With the right kind of funding.
with the right kind of funding and the right kind of staffing and like safety measures put in place, that could be a place where people thrive, and it can be very like cathartic to be, self-contained in this world where you have like a job and a community.
And just assisted with your living.
Yeah, I
instead
think
of like,
a lot of people would pick that for themselves.
yeah, instead of being like homeless. God.
Yeah, and then where do you go? So
yeah,
yeah,
I hope you're getting your
I just want
feet tickled
one ghost
constantly
right
in
now
hell, Ronald
to be
Reagan.
kicking Ronald Reagan in the shins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, if you're a cop, you have to tell us, and that makes none of this admissible. These are some pictures from when we used to do urban exploration, and I won't tell you where. Bye. Actually, that's a little dramatic. We can probably tell you. If you look, there's some tunnels. That's actually how you have to get to the different buildings.
Poop head.
Oh, harsh.
Anyway. So, this book, I also liked. It's kind of... Oh, man. I was going to say something before you went into this whole rant about Ronald Reagan that I did not start.
We're political this episode.
Girl.
You know, I'm going to blame the cat. The cat is distracting you.
I know.
Because she's chewing through electric wires.
I'm going to have so much to cut out of this.
I'm not going to cut anything. If you want the full scoop, go to YouTube.
I don't believe in that. I guess a thriller, we were talking about the fully formed characters. Mallory, this is what I was going to say. I like too that like Mallory's backstory, it was enough backstory for me. I really like this. I think this book was perfect length. I think that the backstory was just enough because like you got a lot of information and you got a little bit of the flashbacks and everything, but it made sense with it. It was very cohesive. I really liked that.
Agreed. It was just enough backstory without being boring.
Yeah, and that,
and that things get revealed as you go that make her character make more sense.
Yes, and I quite like that. Adrian sounded cool. I like that. I don't know. I also like his parents and stuff. I like how they acted. Mitzi.
I liked the spooky aspects of the book. I think that was well done. I know a lot of people don't care for anything supernatural in a book, so if you hate that, then I wouldn't read this.
Yeah,
but if you don't care or like it, then you'll probably like it.
But it's also supernatural, so there's, it could be anything really, so why cap that? But that's what I liked about the neighbor too, that she was a little spooky kooky.
I do like that. I like a wacky neighbor. I like a wacky side character.
Yes.
Your supporting roles shouldn't just be normal. Get somebody weird in there.
Yeah. And I guess here, let me know if we should cut this out or not, but I was going to say that it's giving Sleepaway Camp vibes. Like if Silver Linings Playbook and Sleepaway Camp had a baby, a thrilling baby, it would be this. Do you think that gives away too much?
I think that everything you're saying gives it away, but I think that people also won't care. But maybe that's also just because I read the book.
I think it piques the curiosity.
Perhaps. It is. I mean, it's a hot topic. I could see that for it. I would say that it's not as deep as Silver Linings, which I think is what you're getting at with like tempering it with a thriller.
It's taking little bitty pieces and more of just like somebody with mental health things, like striking out and
that's also set around Philadelphia.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're all very mentally ill around that city. Don't blame us. It's the lead.
We'll just punch each other in the face and then we're friends again.
Yeah, I'm just
That's
really
just
mad.
we're notorious underdogs.
That's why we all carry a Philadelphia snowball.
Everybody's
a D battery, if you guys didn't know.
Everybody's angry but also jolly.
Yeah.
There's really like an undercurrent of community many places.
There sure is. Like that guy who was eating the horse poop. There was nothing but cheering going on. So, and we won that Super Bowl, didn't we?
There you go.
I don't know what happened, and I don't really understand football, but we won it according to everyone. Oh.
I saw Taylor Swift in that stadium.
Hell yeah, and I love going to Flyers games. Anyway, are we getting to the game? Well, this is the For Funsies game that we've been talking about. Like, we're just going to do a little game or, give off some fun stats or whatever.
Before we do hop into that, I was going to say that I know that we said that I think it handled substance abuse well. I will say that I often get annoyed about substance abuse things because of personal bias.
Yes, we've talked about this before, where like because of things from our own personal lives where we've had to deal with people with substance abuse issues, it's hard to
separate that from
them.
Fiction from real life. A lot of the time it's just really
Not be mad at someone for having an addiction. Personally, I don't like when it's equated to having an illness in the sense of like cancer or something like that, where it's different. It's just different. And like, I don't think those things should be equated. I don't think they should be like, I don't know, compared and stuff, because they're different.
Well, and that it is just such a, addiction in general, such a complex subject, and that I think everyone has a vice, of course, and for many of us it does verge towards addiction. But I think it was well handled in this book, where I didn't feel annoyed about the substance abuse stuff. And I also think it was a good message of hope for people who do have those issues, that when you're honestly trying to better yourself, there's definitely things that, like you can learn and grow, but you have to be ready to do it.
Yeah. And it seemed really realistic in this book, where, they like gave a reason for it and stuff, and like
you not that you need a reason.
Well, I meant like her personal reason of why this has happened to her, and kind of like shows the backstory of the progression of it. And oh my,
cats attack us the entire time we film, if you couldn't tell.
She's about to get bounced from this room.
You can bounce her.
Anyway, yeah, I think that was.
You should get just a. I guess you do always wear a black T-shirt with a chain, but you got to start standing more like a bouncer when you're kicking cats out of places.
You're out of here, Fuzzy.
You're out of here.
Out in a gritty tattoo, and I'll flex and it'll dance. Yeah, one of these days.
Plus that John in the water.
Yeah.
Don't do any of those things. She's my baby.
You guys is out of here.
All right, we'll jump into the game.
Now that you've sullied the mood with your serious talking.
My downers.
Yes. So obviously this book is about a girl babysitting a little boy named Teddy, which I also like Teddy. I don't usually like kids at all, and in books usually they're kind of annoying. I thought Teddy seemed like a real treat to babysit. I feel like it'd be a fun job. So in honor of that, this game is called Pick Your Babysitter. And I'm doing fictional characters we're going to pick, so, okay, Suzanne. If you had to choose, would it be Annie Wilkes or Freddy Krueger?
Annie Wilkes. I would love for her to be my babysitter.
Yeah, but what if she, was like, hey, do you want to, do some writing together? You would do it.
I would say yes.
Okay, so she wouldn't even have to break your legs.
No, I would stay, and I would do it. I don't know how we would be able to publish, because she seems to be a stick in the mud about a lot of things. I can't read your chicken scratch anyway.
Don't.
If that's what you're worried about. But I would argue that Annie pushed Paul to a point where he was fizzling. He was boring. He was stagnant. And she got him to a place where he wrote the best novel of his life. And, the muse doesn't always come along in such a neat little package.
I know. Yeah, you're welcome, Paul.
Yeah, you only had to be disfigured.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Okay, this one is Dolores Umbridge or Vecna.
I'm gonna say Vecna just because Dolores Umbridge is so off-putting. I hate these little, these bitty types in
with
a sweater, loving rules and enforcing this that personality grates on me so bad.
I know, and you would think if someone has a bunch of plates with kittens on them that I'd like.
Yeah, so I would rather have someone who could break into my thoughts and kill me than have to deal with certain personalities that are these There's one in my life, and she grates on me so bad. I literally don't really care about anybody that much. I wouldn't even, like, disliking somebody. Nobody comes to mind except for this one person who has a Dolores Umbridge personality, and it is the absolute worst.
There's always a Dolores Umbridge, like, especially at work, so
And she has no power, so her power grabs are so annoying and pathetic.
And, like, just trying to get you in trouble. But, yeah.
There's another tangent for me.
I feel like with Vecna, like, he probably just want to play board games. Or take a nap. But then you're like, why do you want me to nap?
Yeah. I could be persuaded.
Yeah,
I am very tired a lot of the time.
Okay. This one is Newman from Seinfeld or Saruman.
I'm going to say Newman. No one, including you, can read your handwriting.
I feel like Newman would want to do some sort of weird hobby, like go out and try to find, like, the 1/4 he's missing from his collection or something like that, and he'd get all crazy.
Not to toot my own horn, but I think I could easily manipulate him.
Newman?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because he'll do anything, especially if you have, like, a nice treat. He would do it, which I can respect, because if somebody's like, well, look at this personal cheesecake. All right, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Yard work for an hour? Yeah, I guess.
I could trick him. I could make that work in my favor.
Okay, I like that. And then the last one is Joffrey Baratheon or the demon from Insidious.
I'm gonna pick the demon from Insidious because I don't think that Joffrey Baratheon has any kind of authority over me. I think it would just seem annoying.
Yeah, and you could slap him and then he would shut up, clearly.
But for how long?
But yeah, like...
Then I'd have to get away.
I wouldn't want to hang out with him. But I feel like the demon from Insidious, you can see he's up in his little room listening to Tiny Tim and crafting.
Yeah.
You would just be crafting the whole time. I mean, I think he is sharpening some sort of knife or his fingers or something, but it's still crafting.
I am getting better at understanding filmmaking.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I could get there.
I think that demon would be fun, honestly. You could face paint.
Yeah.
You could have matching face paints.
What's that guy's name? Patrick something?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The main guy in that.
Oh, the guy from, like, the Conjuring movie and stuff?
Yeah, Patrick something.
I don't know, but he's a fox.
That's all I was going to say. The point of that was to say that he's a fox.
And I don't know if it's tricking because it's like he's in scary movies that are cool.
And
that makes him hot.
Great roles to go for.
Because, yeah, other than that, if he was in, like, a movie...
I mean, he must be in other stuff, too.
Well, I mean, like, if he was, like, in a movie about sports, I don't even think I'd give it a second look.
I can't see it.
But, yeah, he does a good job.
Yeah, as an adult, he could be my babysitter.
Yeah. Wink. I think those are some good choices, and that doesn't sound like you get
Out of
murdered.
all of them, who would you pick to be your babysitter?
Probably Freddy Krueger, just because I feel like we could have some laughs. We could yuck it up and have a funny time. Because he's with those one-liners, that kills me.
That's true. He does have a snappy wit.
Yeah, can you imagine, like, you sit together and watch a movie? He'd probably say hilarious things. Like Mystery Science Theater, but, you know, except he wouldn't be allowed to, like, pick up the soda cup.
Right.
I would have
to... But he could cut the cheese.
No.
First time?
His farts would smell awful and burnt.
Yeah. And it would be filtered through his sweater somehow. The first time I saw Nightmare on Elm Street, like renting the VHS from a movie store and then watching it at a sleepover, it was terrifying to me.
That's a very old-fashioned sentence.
Yeah. It was the whole thing, and it was just so scary.
Oh, her in that body bag and stuff.
Ending. Oh,
yeah. What a good movie. But,
yeah.
Yeah, so that was
a whole thing.
That's fun.
It was fun. All right, well, I guess that brings us to everyone's favorite portion of the evening.
Yeah.
Oh, haiku time.
Perfect.
I'm going to go first.
Yeah, go for it.
The twists were coming, expected and also not. Trust that the truth will out.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Praise me more. Just kidding, don't.
Spooky. That's a thriller.
The cheese that I picked is ricotta because I was thinking about the lasagna I made, and also it's a very versatile cheese.
It sure is. It could be sweet, it could be savory.
It could. Sweet, you might go with a mascarpone, but ricotta is going to give you a more rustic sweetness if you're making it for a dessert.
Yeah. You put ricotta on some white cheese. Or what is it? White pizza?
White pizza.
Hell yeah. I like that, yeah. Okay.
What's your haiku? Do you want a little?
Yeah, I get a sparkle too.
The quietest sparkle.
Can't run from the past. Aren't all little kids possessed? Damn, that ghost can draw.
I like it. And I will say that all children are possessed.
Yeah, it seems that way. I don't know. I'm not around them enough. I feel like I've been in such a blue cheese mood lately, but I also picked a blue cheese for this, as I did for other things. But this felt blue cheesy to me just because you're not really sure what flavor you'll get from different blue cheeses, especially dressings and stuff. This one's like a blue cheese that you would get like, I don't know, like Paul Newman, where you're like, this is some good blue cheese. It's not like great blue cheese that has like truffle oil in it, but it's very
like
delicious.
Marie Callender's blue cheese dressing.
Yes, those ones they're in the refrigerator, but it's still as delicious. Am I gonna keep a bottle of it? Yes, I am. And like, can I dip a bunch of stuff in it? I sure can. So like, this book was fun. It was delicious. I had a great time reading it. So actually, I think I will check out some other books.
Yes.
Yes, it was good.
'Twas good. Okay, well that's going to wrap us up for the week. Before we go, Presley, what are you grateful for this week?
So I said July being almost over so we can get to spooky times. They're saying now
fall.
that apparently after July 4th, that is the cutoff where we can begin celebrating for Halloween.
I think that's too soon.
The spooky stuff can go up.
I mean, it's never the wrong time for spooky stuff.
I don't think it's wrong to start thinking about it then.
I am thinking about it more and more every
about
day.
it more. Personally, I'm going to say mid-August is when we can start the whole shebang.
I agree.
Start it September.
When do you start Halloween?
Sound the alarm.
I think you get serious about it like August 20th.
And
so that by September 1st, you've got the Halloween stuff ready to go.
Like you're doing that from Nightmare Before Christmas, that cat alarm. Yeah. That starts sounding and we pull a skeleton.
How do I get that job?
Oh, I know, right? Oh my god.
This week, Suzanne, I'm grateful for all of the people who have reached out to us, who have told us how much they like the podcast and just being supportive in general. It's so appreciated. And it can feel so, it feels like, you get the imposter syndrome going and you think, can anyone hear or see me? So it's validating that people have reached out and said that they like it. Because then we technically know that it's working. And also that we are able to have fun conversations with people about books, which is the whole purpose of this whole thing.
Yeah, it's just for fun. We're not trying to do anything other than entertain.
Yeah, it's a very political episode. Keep it light,
I know,
okay?
Like
you could do that for us.
We're just trying to entertain. We're trying to make some friends. We're trying to talk about books. Just have a good time. And like that's definitely, it's so encouraging to hear that, especially because imposter syndrome is real and like, most things do take a lot of time to build, and we've been putting a lot of time into this. And if it was poopish, I wish I knew sooner, but I don't think it is.
If it's poopish, it's Presley's fault.
Well, it'd be half
No, but
my
truly,
fault.
it's been so much to learn, and it's still challenging, but we have a good time doing it, and I hope that you have a good time listening, and we appreciate you.
I already met so many cool people from it.
Yeah, truly.
So, thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Yeah, so give yourself a big old smooch and handshake.
Yeah, you can have a slight pat on the shoulder from me.
And give yourself an extra piece of cheese because you've been a good boy.
Yeah, you go eat all the cheese you want, unless it'll make you sick. Maybe don't.
Still do. Have a good time.
Still do it.
Do it. You want it.
Stink it up.
Just do it. But do it elsewhere, Freddie.
Yeah, if I smell a fart, I'll be mad.
And until next week, it's been Night Cheese Book Club.
Adios.
Signing out. Bye.